before you a 5-course meal that's described on your menu that Brad has put together. Each course has been paired with a selected wine, courtesy of our sponsor this evening, Southern Wine and Spirits, and we have Brian Orlick with us from Southern Wine. So I know they worked hard together to come up with a great menu, and wine pairings, and each of them are described there for you. Brad is going to kind of go through, and Bob, when you go home tonight, you can do all the same meal. You know,
really?
But at the next, Bob's cooking at the next chamber luncheon.
All right.
There's no program other than that, so again, Brad Elston, and the show is yours. Enjoy your dinner.
Thanks. All right, nice to see everybody. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
All right, I got started here. First course we're doing a wild mushroom tart. This is an old East Room dish. And it went very well with the courses that we're doing tonight, so I thought we'd bring it back a little bit. I have 3 of the mushrooms that we're using. The oyster mushrooms, which are in it, I used all of them in the tart, so I don't have any to show. But it's kind of, we got a cremini, a shiitake, and a regular medium mushroom, and then the oyster mushrooms that go inside of it. Creminis, if you like creminis, you'll love portobellos. It's a baby portobello. You know, and this shiitake stems are unedible. It's like chewing on rope. So you know, you can make a nice stock out of it, anything like that that you need. But what we start off with is, you know, slice your mushrooms. Like TV, I got 3 heated pans. And I've got the beurre blanc started on the side. I kind of do a fake beurre blanc a little bit. I use a little bit of heavy cream instead of just white wine. And reduce it down just to give it a little stabilization. So I guess we'll get started on that. Mushrooms, you want a nice hot pan. A little bit of oil. I use a nice salad oil, canola. Just a little bit. Mushrooms are like a sponge. They'll soak up everything, but then they'll actually give you a little bit of juice back. Don't have to do anything at any certain time with the mushrooms. All of them going at the same time. Of course, garlic. I put garlic in almost everything. I think I actually have a dish tonight that doesn't have any garlic in it.
Is that the cake? Was that the cake?
All right, 2 dishes.
So don't worry about vampires today, then, huh?
No, not at all. Not ever. If you eat here, you'd never have to worry about that. On the mushrooms, you just want to do a nice light saute on them. You don't want to cook them down too much because you'll get too much juice out of them, and you'll need a little bit of that in the custard. This custard is a very universal custard. This can be used for bread pudding. It can be used for, you know, the mushroom tart. It can be used, actually, if you don't salt it, you can actually use it as an ice cream base. It really is a basic vanilla ice cream without the vanilla and the sugar in it. I use a quart of cream and 9 eggs. That seems to give me a nice base for it to set up when you cook it in the oven. Spoon. Pie dough. I know pie dough scares a lot of people. Pie dough is the easiest thing in the world to make. It's 3 steps. Butter, flour, and water. Most of your ingredients should be butter and flour. For the pie dough, mix 2 10-inch pie doughs. There's 2 tablespoons of water in there. That's your only moisture besides the butter. Some of the older school chefs will still use lard. Lard has its purpose. My grandmother's lard was in everything. I'm a butter fan. I use whole fresh butter, salted. That was a little bit of Chardonnay, just for a touch of flavor. That's really about all you want to do on your mushrooms. Just very light, just to get some heat, just to pull out a little moisture and a little flavor from them. You want to kind of pull them off to the side. Let them cool a little bit so you don't cook your egg. Sorry about that. This is Asiago cheese. It's a little stronger than Parmesan. It's a good fresh cheese, and it gives a great flavor. It doesn't overpower the mushrooms. It kind of actually enhances the flavor with it. cool off a little bit,
Thank you.
which your cheese will help with, and I will rush this just a tad bit. But when you do your pie dough, you want to get it to a consistency. The easiest way to do it is the food processor. You want a kind of an oatmeal texture. You get little, they're about the size of oatmeal flakes. You know, your dough's together, and you want to kind of bring it together and wrap it in plastic wrap. It's always best to put, when you do it, make it round. That way when you go to roll it out, you're going to get a round shape instead of a square or an oblong. And in school, our pastry chef hated odd-shaped doughs. So like for full days, we would roll pie dough by hand and freeze it for later on for tarts and pies. Then you want to let it rest for about 4 hours. Let the flours and the glutens relax so you don't have a spongy, springy dough. Because if you don't let it rest, your pie dough will shrink back up on it and you'll have a really rough time getting your pie dough rolled out. You can freeze this pie dough. That's about what you're gonna get. And see, my chef's getting mad because I still can't roll a perfect round. He already knows. He's still mad at me anyway. But you want to, roll that out to about an 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. 9-inch pie pan. Parchment paper, if you get it rolled out, then you want to do it the day ahead. Put it on some parchment paper and fold it up in between each layer so it doesn't stick. And see, the good thing with the bird blanc is if you cook your cream a little bit more than you need, just add some more to it. Then you just directly add your cream.
I'm not a mushroom person either, but it tastes good.